Oh, one day I will learn French, and no one will beat me in French. Yeah, can. Bizarre. I thought you would be the first. We agreed that you would be the first to the Beit Midrash this morning. What happened? Never mind. Welcome once again to our limud. It's a custom, or the custom of Batina Kadisha, that we devote a few moments of learning halachot, which is the key or the backbone of Torah learning. Learn halachot. We do learn halachot according to Ben Shchai. Rabbi Shimon covered up to halacha number 3. We will continue where he left off. Halacha number 4, or Dalet. It reads as follows. You must have received the pages. We follow, we learn from one another. Food and drink, over which one recite bracha acharona, borei nefashot, rabot, does not require the bracha acharona to be recited in the place or in the same place that the food was taken or was eaten, not taken but eaten. According to any halakhic opinion, it is therefore permissible to leave one's place before reciting the bracha acharona and recite it elsewhere or somewhere else. Let me a little bit explain. We know this brachot. The brachot, like for example, of partaking the fruit, whether that of the land of Israel was blessed with or not. If you forget to recite the bracha acharona, you are not required to come back to the same place where you have eaten or have eaten your fruit or drink, like any other, like for example, Birkat Hamazon. Birkat Hamazon requires you to come back to the place where you have partaken the meal. Halacha continues. However, by leaving one's place, one is considered to have terminated one's meal. And if one wishes to eat somewhere else, one must recite the appropriate bracha, even though one has not yet recited the bracha acharona or the food previously eaten. In other words, the place where you are going, you may perhaps be served with a similar food that you have eaten previously in a previous place. It does not exempt you from reciting another bracha, even if the food is the same. Halakha requires you to recite appropriate brachot on the same food or a different food that have got the same brachot, the brachot acharona. For example, having partaken a grape here, and I go to another place, and I see another grape there, and I started eating. Halakha says, no, you don't just eat because it's a different place. And also that you did not know that you are going to eat the same food that you have partaken in the very same place where you are or you left. So halakha says, you come to that place, you encounter, probably not encounter, you eat the food, similar food, you recite appropriate bracha over any piece or species of the food, or a drink that you may partake. Halakha continues. It does not help to have in mind when reciting bracha to go to somewhere else to continue eating without reciting the bracha. It does not help. Well, that's what I have said previously. It's not about you having in mind that, okay, well, I'm going to that place, so I have already recited the bracha here, so I'm going to that place, so I'm going to eat the same food or drink the same drink. No, does not help. Halakha continues. Even if one returns to the first place, one must again recite all the appropriate bracha or brachot, since every time one relocates, the meal is considered to have been terminated. And if one wishes to eat more, one must repeat all the brachot. Here, the main key here is a place of the place where the food was eaten. I wanted to add a little something that just came to my mind now. In one of our limudim, why the Chazal require us to have a specific place in either is in Beit Knesset or in the Midrash, or in Yeshiva. Chazal recommend that you have a specific place where you daven. But this does also not mean that when you find someone there, you should push that somebody away. You have to be accommodated. Not like in other places, people are gambling their places of learning. It's just like mouses. Today is there, tomorrow is there. All he found is a stranger in his place. He demands his place. It may be good, but it may not be appropriate. So the same way, the same principle, the place where you have partaken food, there is something that we ordinary people do not know, why that specific place requires, not that the place requires, why that is the owner, the host. What merit did he have to have a food in his place, the food that you may partake? There must be a reason, even if you and I do not know it. So I learned from Rabbi Pinchas a couple of months ago that learn to be in one place, because when you daven, for example, you daven in one place, when you open the gates of heaven, and your shofar comes down, or your blessing comes down, and if you are not there to receive them, they don't go back. They may be even taken up by somebody else who was truly not meant to receive, to be the vessel of this shefa, so to say. So the same way, I wanted to believe that the same principle applies. If you do not give the bracha over the food you have taken, some opinion took it even further to say, you are blocking the chain or the pipe through which this food came through to this world. We will see. We continue with the halacha number 4. Maybe I should add this one. Terminating of your meal does not give somebody the right not to recite the bracha acharona. And we should not use it as a scapegoat. If the meal has been terminated because you changed the locations or localities, it's not an exemption that you are no longer obligated to recite the bracha acharona. Yes, the meal has been terminated, but thus you are not obligation free not to recite bracha acharona. I remember sometime I asked this question, I put this question to my Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Pinchas, and I said, what if I remember after I covered so many kilometers, do I need to come back to the place? And he said, no. The fact that you remember that very time, the food that you have taken, you are reminded by the souls that are trapped in those food that you have partaken. That you have now to recite the bracha. That is the very moment they require to recite the brachot. Because we are not knowing halacha, we are really caught up in many things. Chas v'shalom. That they become detrimental to our own avodah Hashem. Halacha continues. Even if one returns to the place, one must again recite all the appropriate bracha or brachot, since every time one relocates, the meal is considered to have been terminated. And if one wishes to eat more, one must repeat all the brachot. Yes. However, if one when reciting the brachot, one intended to continue eating in another room, in the same house, one need not repeat the brachot before eating there. Meaning if you are in the same closet, a house. But if one did not intend relocating, when one recited the brachot, one must recite them again, even if only one goes into another room, in the same house, unless one is able to see one's original place. Halakha requires us to see the place where we have taken the not really literally that you should go there, but as long as you can see the place where you have partaken, whether it's a drink or food, you recited the bracha. My sincere apology. I should have tendered my apology before. My voice is not that still not quite clear. I had a makot. My sincere apology. I received a makot. What is a makot? Makot is either is ailment or some difficulties in your life. Like I had the flu. Well, I still have got the flu. I've got cough. It's a makot. It's not a man does not receive these challenges unless there is something in his life. Whether he knows it or he doesn't. So I received my makot. Or I received makot before Shavuot and up to now. And the best of Hashem, I'm searching throughout my heart to see where I have wronged. So bear with me, bear with me with these challenges. We continue. Halakha number 4 continues. If one moves to another part of the same room, one need not recite the bracha again. Even if one did not have in mind to relocate when reciting the bracha. Straight. Maybe we are going to end with halakha number 4, because, number 5. In this last instance, there are 2 reasons why one need not to repeat the brachot. There has not been a significant change of location. In that one is still in the same room, and one is still able to see one's original place. Again, straight. We have briefly touched on that, not briefly, we explained. However, some authority disputed this ruling. And consider even a relocation from one part of the room to another sufficiently interruption to require repeating the bracha. It's another halachical problem. It's unfortunate that the machloket within the Judaism is not based on who is wrong, who's right. No. It's not in the manner of academia. It's not in the manner or in the same perspective as in the political circles, or economic circles, or in the judicial systems. That when you differ with somebody, then you must be wrong. Or the one you are contesting with, he must be wrong. It's not in the way of Torah. The Greek mind taught us to look at the world that you cannot be, one must be right and one must be wrong. It's unfortunate. Yeah, Greek mind, who are the Greeks anyway? The Tanchuma, the Midrash Tanchuma. The Midrash Tanchuma. The Tana, write and teach. He refers them even to the donkey, like donkeys. Indeed, so don't want to elaborate on that. So, halakha continues. I don't know where. Okay, no, I got where I welcome, Rabbi Elisheva. We are on halacha according to Ben Shchai. We are on halacha number 4. I believe you must have the page in front of you.
Morning. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. We continue with the halacha number 4. Therefore, the chatechila, initially, that is what it means. One should not even change one's place in a room at all, unless one had in mind to do so when reciting the brachot. In other words, before partaking food and before reciting a bracha, you should have in mind that you are going to change the places, even in the same closet, meaning in the same building, same house. You must have that in mind. How and why? We see. Therefore, sorry. It is important to make this ruling well known to people, meaning to us, you and I. We should know. As people very often get up and leave the table during a meal to attend to something in another room. And whilst there, eat some fruit without reciting another bracha, relying on the bracha which they recited at the table. Careful about places. Okay, I tell you something. Even if you are in even if it's your house, the fact that it has got many rooms, this is my own chidush. It does not mean your house has got the same energy. Oh, maybe I shouldn't go into do deeper in that. That's what I should next time. Halakha continues. Since we must take into consideration the most stringent opinion, even if one had the intention to relocate, when reciting the bracha or the brachot, they must be repeated if one cannot see one's original place. If one did not have in mind to relocate at all, and neither can one seize one original place, one must certainly recite the brachot, a bracha, over everything eaten after leaving the room. After leaving the room, you must. Look at this. Halakha regulates not only when you are outside of your house, or outside of your street, or far from your street, or out of the city, but even in your own privacy, called the house. Changing the place from one room to another requires you to recite the brachot. Over any food that you have taken, either in one place or in another, in one room or in another. Halakha number 5. Although it is mentioned above that all food which requires the bracha acharona, me'en shalosh, is treated like bread with regard to reciting the bracha acharona. in the place one eats, relocating, etc. This is only the case if one eats a kazait, that is sufficient food to require reciting a bracha harona. But if one eats less than a kazait, and then one relocates and eats a kazait somewhere else, one does not have to recite a bracha harona. In the first place that one ate, is that small amount of food is regarded like food which requires the bracha harona or any fashot. If one ate a full kazait of any kind of food, over which the bracha harona me'en shalosh is recited, and one is not intended to eat, and one did not intend to eat it in one specific place, but instead ate while walking around, one may recite bracha harona wherever one finishes eating. Travelers utilize this ruling when they eat bread as they travel, and they recite the Birkat Amazon where they complete their meal. And there is no question as to whether this is permitted. There is no question as to whether this permitted is explained with regard to bread. Let's get a little bit explanation on that halacha. It speaks about travelers. But what about if I'm at home? Is it possible to eat while walking around my house? Not around my house, within my house. I have learned through Rabbi Pinchas, some halachot, that it's not a very good midot to eat while standing, to eat while walking. We fall short of this halachot. We will come to this because in our main limud, I think at the end, Ramban, I think is dealing with this. I'm not too sure, but I think I read something to that regard. But either way, it's not a good midot to eat while walking or standing. Sit down, recite your bracha, and what is required by halacha before partaking the food. Whether the food requires you to perform Netilas Yadayim or not. But it says, there are also some halachical opinion that I came across, that even if you are just eating fruit, you need to perform Netilas Yadayim without the bracha. Yeah. So for today, that is how far we can go, or we have come to the halachot according to Ben Shchai. Is there any question before we attune to our main limud?
So far, so good.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Then we go to our main limud, which is based on the letter of Rambam. By now we are familiar who Rambam was. I know some of us are in conversions, we are not familiar to the timeline. So it's not a boring question. This is something that I know for sure. Many of you will come across it, on your interviews by the Beit Din. Is that maybe? Sorry. Maybe I should take it.
Well, they asked about Maimonides, about Ramban.
I beg your pardon, Elisheva.
I ask you if at Beth Din will the rabbis ask us questions about the Maimonides, the Ramban.
No, they will not ask you directly that who Rambam was. That's not. They will. They may probably ask you. Tell us the timeline, how the Torah was transmitted.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If for example, they would ask you, may not be based on Ramban, but Rambam. And Rambam, Mishnah Torah, his work called Mishnah Torah, is a body of halachot. So they may ask you, who was he? Who was he? And they are not asking as to where he was born. That's not the implication of the question. They are not asking where he lived. Well, maybe. But they will ask you, the meaning of the question is, they wanted to know whether you have equipped yourself with the halachot and the source of the halachot that you have learned. And if you do not, you and I do not know all this, you will be trapped. God forbid. And don't blame me that Rabbi Elnatan Elchanan did not inform me. We did. We did the best of our ability.
So basically, I just can say like Ramban was like the body of the halachots. Or do I need to say more?
Rambam.
Yes.
Rambam is the author of a body of halachot called Mishnah Torah. He covered everything, every halakha based on a specific mitzvah. He covered also all the 613 mitzvot.
All right.
That is Rambam.
Okay.
But our subject is based on the letter of Ramban, not Rambam. And we have learned last week that Ramban was one of the Rishonim. In other words, the Rishonim, they took over from the Tanaim.
By the way, what's mission name?
What is that, Teresheva?
Mission name, what does it mean?
Mishlei?
You said the Ramban was one of the missionaries.
No, Rishonim.
What?
Rishonim.
Rishonim. What's that?
Rishonim is a plural word. Rishonim is a plural word. If I put it in a singular, it's a Rishon. The word Rishon, it means the first. Okay. What it means is, after the generations of the Tanaim came to an end, there were some generations of Torah scholars before the Rishonim. And after, I just forgot, is it Gaonim? or let's say Baonim, something like that. Just second, Elisheva.
Okay.
I had the chart here, but I forgot now. I don't know where I put it. Yes. Okay, never mind. Elisheva, yes. Yeah.
You're looking for?
I know that I'm too sure that there's a group of people between, if I'm not mistaken, between the Tanaim and the Rishonim. They did also not leave it that long. Never mind. Elizabeth.
I'm looking.
Yes. Yeah, I can just look at with the time. We will come back to this subject. And the best of Hashem, just remind me, text me sometime, remind me to send you the chart over these generations of sages, how the Torah was transmitted. It's so very important. Yes.
After Tanaim, Amoraim. After Amoraim, Saboraim.
Very good. You got it right. You got it right. I mixed up here. Okay. After that's why I said, but I was correctly also that there must be a group. The correct order is let's take it from the Tanaim. From the Tanaim, there came the Amoraim. Who are the Amoraim? These are the sages of the Gemara, right? After the sages of all the Amoraim came what? A generation of who?
Saboraim.
Saboraim. Yes, exactly. Yes, those are the one I know. And after Saboraim, Geonim, and after the Geinon, not Geinon. After yes, after that, the Rishonim. So meaning between the Tanaim and before Rishonim, there were three different of Torah sages, generations. So Rambam and the Ramban are falling in that fourth category. Which are these four categories? Rishonim. I mean fifth category, the Rishonim. We have to know this thing by heart. Okay. Okay, we go to Ramban.
Toda.
Berkasha. So last week we have dealt with portion number 27, and we are about to finish this book. And the finishing does not mean that we should not go back. We will even find more different and the deeper things again from those we have, different from those we have covered. Last time we talked about, or Rambam taught, that one should must remove the external matters from your mind, from my mind, when we stand to pray. And also, we should be careful preparing ourselves, all our heart, in the presence of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Now, the theme continues. And it says, I read it in Hebrew, and then we go for translation. V'chashov hadibur kodem shetotzienu mipicha תהיה זכה וברא ונקייה, ומכוונת ומקובלת לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא, שנאמר, תכין לבם, תקשיב, אזניך. Every word that I'm saying in this passage and the upper passage, I could deal with each individual word. Because there is so much hidden, deep idea hidden in each every word. But we don't go just for word. We go according to each letter and how that word was built. The translation: ponder your words before you utter them. Your prayer will be pure and clear, sincere and pleasing to God. Blessed is he, as is written, you prepare their heart, meaning to concentrate. You are attentive to their prayers. This is Tehillim. Let's finish the commentary quickly and brief. The pages are in the group, ready with your time. In the best of Hashem, we will continue. Take up where we may leave, or where we left off. Ramban exhort his son to make his prayer zakah. Maze zakah? Rabbi Shai. Maze zakah? Never mind, don't worry. Zakah means pure. Pure. As you can see on the page, I have highlighted that word, among others. In this, he alludes, Bishai, it says, in this, he alludes. What is allusion? We have just learned this word a few days ago. Rabbi Pinchas put a challenging question to each one of us. What is allusion? Rabbi Benjamin, what is allusion?
I can guess. I don't remember.
Okay, never mind. The word allusion is remez. What does it remind us? It's not an example like many people we were made to understand. That is an example. We are being hindered to something that was there before the present. That is remez. Now, Rambans allude to the words of the Midrash, Shemot Rabbah, which states, Yaakov said of himself, Alo Chachas, Hamas, sorry, not Chachas, Hamas, Bekapai, Utifilati, Zakah. No injustice is in my hand, and my prayer is pure. That is in, did I say Yaakov? I beg your pardon. It's not Yaakov, it's Eov. Job. This implies that both pure prayer and the solid prayer exist. What is being said there? Meaning, just as like there is a pure prayer, there is also impure prayer. We will see. the man whose hands are filthy or filled by dishonesty, again cries out, yet the Almighty turns away from his prayer. For his plea is tainted, but he of Job's prayer was pure, Zaka. He was honest, excuse me, and his hands were thus clean. Dear friend, before we get that, let's take one more information. The Masechet Brachot, it brings a Mishnah. Like I was saying to somebody, one of our students last night, and I believe you are listening. You will not be able to understand the Torah without the Mishnah. And you will not be able to understand the Mishnah without the Gemara. And you will not be able to understand the language of the Gemara unless you have got the Rishonim. In the times, it becomes problematic to understand also the language of the Rishonim without the Acharonim. Very difficult. So the Gemara, Masechet Brachot, brings a Mishnah, and it reads as follows. We have got only a few minutes, 18 minutes before I sign off. En omdin להתפלל אלא מתוך כובד ראש. חסידים הראשונים היו שוהים שעה אחת ומתפללים כדי שיכיוונו ליבם לאביהם שבשמיים. אפילו המלך שואל בשלמה, לא ישבנו, ואפילו נחש כרוך על עקבו לא הפסיק. That's the Mishnah. Look at what it says here in translation. Although there are some additional between the words of in a translation, there are some words added in order for us to enable us to connect what the flow of the language in translation. One may only stand and begin to pray from an approach of gravity and the submission. There is a tradition that the early generation of pious men would wait 1 hour in order to reach the solemn frame of mind appropriate for prayer, and then pray, so that they would focus their heart toward their Father in heaven. Standing in prayer is standing before God, and as such, even if the king greets you, he should not respond to him. When the king is going to be your president, even if a snake is wrapped on his heel, he should not interrupt his prayer. let's look at the word zakah before we get to explanation of what is going on here. I'm not too sure whether somebody took a picture of this, of what we learned last night. So beautiful. So, just wanted to, the word zakah is written Zain. Sorry. No, this is given.
We cannot see, sorry.
Okay, I will tell the camera. Zakah, what did you say? Yeah, you can help. No, right? Because you have got a very beautiful handwriting. I would love to copy. Teach me that beautiful handwriting.
Oh, his calligraphy is very clear. It's easy for us to understand when we read.
When you read that?
I said when he writes, it's very easy for us to understand. When he, for example, I saw like the picture of his post. You see,
okay.
yeah, because he in one day he delivered like a limud, isn't it?
Yeah.
To us. So I saw like his calligraphy was very clear.
Very good.
Yeah, was not tiny. You see, like that we can understand properly.
Very good. Follow me. We've got 12 minutes. Follow me. You can see the boat now.
Yes.
Here we have got Zain, which is 7, Kamacho value, right? And we have got a Kaf, which is 20, Kamacho value. And then we have got a Hey, which is 5, Kamacho value. Right? So if I were to take what is equal to what? So not here. It's equal to what?
Sorry, can you please repeat what's the word there? What's
Okay.
the name of the word?
The Zain.
It's like Zain, Kaf, and
Kaf
Hey.
and the Hey.
Yeah.
The
What's
Gamacho
that?
value of the letter Zain is 7, right?
Yeah.
And the Kaf is 20.
Yeah.
And the A is 5.
Yeah.
Right? Is equal to what?
27, 8, 9, 30. Give a second. 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32. 32.
What does the 32 remind us of? Yes, Rabbi Shai, please. Exactly. Yes?
What? Name?
Yes. What does that 32 reminds us of? Yes, Rabbi Benjamin, you have got a question?
No.
Okay.
I say that he was written there.
Yes.
But I don't say what is it.
Okay.
Remind about what?
What does it remind us of? This very word. It reminds us the heart. The heart in Hebrew called Lev, Lamed, Bet, right? Is the Gamacho value is 32. That's why Ramban is saying He's cautioning here that when we must think. First, he started in the portion of today. He starts with the question. What is this? Vachoshev, and ponder, or think. Meaning, don't just jump into prayer. Just because you wanted to, your obligation is not just by fulfilling that obligation to constitute as an accomplishment or fulfilling your obligation. It's when you approach it with a pure heart, a clean heart. In other words, do not approach your prayer with all these externalities. Like, I have got my business, my wife, I need a wife, I need a husband, I need this. Why that one is troubling me? We have got so many Beit Knesset people are not at peace with each other. He finds you, or you find your fellow woman at your spot of prayer. You are starting now questioning, why is he doing it at my place? Don't gamble. Don't become agitated. Approach prayer with empty heart, the pure heart. Remember, the Sefer Yetzirah, this number is refers to as building blocks. Building blocks, how? There's not much time to explain this, much more. So, again, apart from the combination of the gematria values of each letter, let's look at a different angle. Zakah. Let's take the letter Kaf and the Hei. What is the gematria value? 25. 25, right?
Yeah.
With kolel, imikolel. Kolel is a word. Then we have got to +1, right? Is equal to what? 25?
26.
26.
26.
26. What does the 26 reminds us of? It reminds us the word Havaya, the name Havaya. The holy name. The holy name that you and I are not required to erase it. Not a single letter of it. Yes, I know the rabbis have got a way of writing it in order to make them, to permit them to raise it or to raise a part of one of, I mean, the letter, one letter out of the other letters. So, dear friend, my goodness, we will continue with this theme of pure, because I want to. My goodness, time. What time are you starting, Rabbi Ishai? 12 o'clock, right? Yeah, okay. I still have got 5 minutes.
I think you have 2 hours. Because you said you can start at 1.
At 1, yeah, that means you started at 12.
No, you said I started at 1.
You started at 1. No, confirm, please. Confirm with him. Please.
Sorry, Rabbi.
No? Yes?
I cannot really understand no, it's not. I think is the milui, the milui
Yes.
of the grammatical value of 32, the one is on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you said it's the first letter is L.
Yeah.
Isn't it? But I think L is different, isn't it? It's like you know, like how can I say, like the symbol of the rain.
Maybe can you see this one now in the corner here?
Yeah.
If I write it that way, okay, there are two. This is a printed form of Lamed.
Uh-huh.
In your Siddur, in your Tanakh, this is the one that you find, right?
Okay.
But the one that I have written is not a printed, it's a cursive. This is the one.
No, you complicate my brain.
Okay, never mind. You will get to know this, okay?
Okay, thank you.
In Israel and elsewhere, wherever you have got the Jewish people, they do not write in their Shabbat Shalom. Well, okay, Shabbat Shalom. they in their daily activities, they do not in their writing, they do not write printed letters in their daily communications. They are using cursive, and that is the one I have used here on the board.
All right. And the second one, the two dots, are they, is it the serre or kibbutz?
What did you say?
The two dots there.
The
after
dot.
the lamed.
No, the dot. Think about the dot. I put it intentionally for you to see the different. I mean, to demarcate the two letters.
I see.
They mean nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just like, for example, we write the word Havaya of this very gematria value to enable us erase one letter. We put either a line between these four letters. Because if we do not put any line or any dot, we may not erase it at all. So the Miloi, this is not a Miloi, right? It's just the gematria value of these two letters.
Oh, I see.
So a Miloi is when you take you expand or you write the letter out. That's a Miloi. The gematria is much more than numbers. So
I got now. Thank you. Sorry.
And no, you don't. There is nothing to apologize. It's a learning.
Yeah, I'm trying like to read in Hebrew. That's why I ask about this.
Very good. You are doing yourself a very and a great favor. What did Robert? Ma? Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's how I understood it. B'ezrat Hashem, we will continue on the same theme of the portion of today, on letter of Ramban, because we did not cover much more where I was leading you to. Because I was leading you, as you can see on the page, right? On the page that you have,
yeah,
you see that there is a word, the first word of that portion is where I was going to lead you, starting exactly with the word zakah, pure. And we are also still going to deal with individual letters. These are 3 letters. And the God willing, B'ezrat Hashem, even the dot that is within the calf, we are going to deal with it too, B'ezrat Hashem. So, I don't have time now. My time is up, expired. And thank you very much for giving me a space to share with you. And the best of Hashem, we continue on Yom Rishon. Remember, you, Rebbetzeni Elisheva, you remember you did ask me as to what the Rishonim mean. And I use the word that we shall meet on Yom Rishon.
Yeah.
On Yom Rishon is the first day of the week. Rishon is the first.
Mhm.
We meet on the first day of the week. Bezrat Hashem.
The first day of the week on Sunday.
Well, yeah, they call it Sunday. We call it Yom Rishon according to the Torah.
All right. Good.
So I wanted to wish you, each one of you and your family, Shabbat Shalom. And hope to see you once again. Bezrat Hashem.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom aleichem.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
On first Rishon. On Yom Rishon.
Yom Rishon. Toda Rabba. Thank you very much for your attending. And then hope to see you. Shabbat Shalom lekulam. Baruch Adonai leolam. Amen ve'amen.
Amen, amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Barach.